Hi, welcome to this video looking at the skills check for question 1 to 10 and then also looking at some White Rose maths worksheets, okay, for Key Stage 3 and Key Stage 4 maths as well, and a Corbett Maths Higher Tier 1 as well, okay. So this first section is aimed at the foundation tier, but it may also be appropriate revision for higher tier students for AQA, Edexcel and OCR. Okay, as ever, feel free to obviously pause the video at any part of this video, try the questions and then press play when you're ready, okay, if you're happy. We're going to start with question number 1. Complete this statement. 2537 plus something is 22,054. Well, if I do 22,054, take away 2,537. Okay, make sure that I put everything in the correct place value order. Okay. Remember that the opposite of adding this number is taking it away. Okay, so 2,537 plus something, which we don't know yet, equals this number. So I do the inverse operation. So it's balancing the equation. So I subtract 2,537 on both sides to work out the missing number. 4 take away 7 I can't do, so I borrow. That's going to become a 4. That's going to become a 1. Okay, 14 take away 7 is 7. 4 take away 3 is 1. 0 take away 5 I can't do, so I borrow from this. That becomes a 1. That becomes a 10. 10 take away 5 is 5. 1 take away 2 I can't do, so I borrow or exchange, we say. 11 take away 2 is 9, and then I'm going to stick that 1 at the end. 1 take away nothing is 1. So my answer is 19,517. Okay, so that's obviously taking away whole numbers. Okay, let's just delete that now. Okay, this is question number 2, guys. Calculate 65.6 plus 3.25. Again, looking at our place value, 65.6 plus 3.25. So 3.25. Okay. 0 plus 5 is 5, or nothing plus 5 is 5. 6 plus 2 is 8. Put the decimal point there. 5 plus 3 is 8, and 6 plus nothing is 6. So the answer I get is 68.85. Okay, this is question number 3. What is the highest common factor of 144 and 45? Okay, so this is looking at prime factor decomposition, so the number that is common in both. Okay, so 144 splits into 9 and 16. Okay. And then 45 splits into 9 and 5. Okay, I don't need to decompose this anymore because I'm looking for the highest common factor. It's not asking for the highest prime number, it's asking for the highest common factor. 9 is common in both. Okay, so therefore 9 is my highest common factor. It's the highest number that goes into both 144 and 45 collectively. Okay, so factor means numbers that go into it. Okay, right guys, this is question number 4. Work out the lowest common multiple of 12 and 18. So the lowest number that appears in both times tables. So let's just write down our times tables here. 12, 24, 36. Okay, let's just go for 2 more just to be on the safe side. We can always go for more, like if one actually 48 and 60. The next one's going to be 18 and 36. Okay, so straight away 36 is the smallest number that appears in both. Okay, So that's the smallest number that appears in both times table. Okay, so multiple means times table. Okay, so be very careful, okay, with that. This is question number 5. Work out 0.99 times 1,000. We'll move it 3 places to the right. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, yeah? So the number is going to be 990. Because if I times it by 100, I get 99. Times it by 10 again, okay, which is 990. Question number 6. Work out 38.5 divided by 1,000. We'll move it 3 places to the left this time. 1, 2, 3. So it's 0.0385, if that makes sense. Because it would be 0.385 if I divided it by 100, but I'm dividing it by 1,000, so I'm going to move it 1 place further, okay? Next question, question number 7. Complete this statement. 4 centimeters is how many millimeters? Well, I'm going to times it by 10, okay, from centimeters to millimeters. Okay, if you're not sure about these, then spend a bit of time like looking at your ruler. So the bog standard rulers from 1 to 15, and those little mini lines is 1 millimeter. Okay, so 10 millimeters equals 1 centimeter. Okay, that's the key part to remember. 10 millimeters equals 1 centimeter. Okay, obviously other conventions are also involved, but the purpose of this question is looking at millimeters, okay? This is question number 8. Work out 73 times 0.1. Well, if I think about it, 73 times 1 is 73, but then I'm dividing it by 10, so it's going to be 7.3. Okay, this is question number 9. Okay, work out 8 times 1 plus 1 all squared. Well, it's going to be 8 times 2 squared, or 2 to the power of 2. Okay, 2 to the power of 2 means 2 times 2. So 2 to the power of 2, or 2 squared, is 4. 8 times 4 is 32. Okay, this is question number 10. Calculate 2/11 of £814. So, it's a fraction of an amount. I divide by the bottom times by the top. Okay, so let's do the bus stop method. 814 divided by 11. It should be fairly straightforward because 11 times table is quite nice. Okay, 11's into 8 I can't do. 11's into 81. Well, it goes up to 77. That's my highest. Okay. Then the remainder is going to be... So, 77, it's going to be 4, isn't it? Okay. 11 into 44 is going to be 4. Okay, double this answer. So 74 times 2, or 74 add 74. Either way is fine. Okay. 4 times 2 is 8, and 2 times 7 is 14. So the answer I get is £148. Okay, so this is looking at fraction of an amount. Okay, if you're ever asked to find a fraction of something, okay, you divide by the denominator times by the numerator. Okay, right, guys, we are now looking at year 8, the Cartesian Plane. Okay, for White Rose Maths. Okay, we're going to start with question number 1. Okay, plot these points on a grid. Okay, A is 0, 2, so A is going to go here. B is -3, 2. And then C is going to be 3, -2. Okay. So write down the coordinates of the point that is the 4th quadrant. Well, if I just join it up here, okay, it's going to be here, isn't it? Okay, So it's going to be like a trapezium, essentially. So it's going to be minus 5, minus 2. Okay. So it's a trapezium, guys, if you're interested. Okay. Next question. The coordinate pairs 0, 2 and minus 3, 2 lie on the same horizontal line. Write down the equation of this line. This line is the line y equals 2 because the y coordinate stays as 2 whereas the x coordinate changes. So that's the line y equals 2. Okay, next question. Draw the line x equals minus 1 on the grid, again with your ruler. Minus 1 is a vertical line going through that. Okay, so that's the line x equals minus 1. Okay, so if you have x equals a number, it's a vertical line. If you have y equals a number, it's a horizontal line. Okay. This is question number 2, guys. Complete the table of values for y is equal to 2x plus 3. Okay, so when x is 0, 2 times 0 is 0, plus the 3, I get 3. When x equals 1, okay, I get 2 times 1 is 2, and the 3 is 5. So it's going up in 2s each time. That means it's going to go down by 2. Okay, I spotted it there. Okay, on the grid, draw the graph of y equals 2x plus 3 for the values of x from minus 2 to 2. Okay, so when x is minus 2, I get 2 times minus 2, which is minus 4, plus the 3 is minus 1. So it's minus 2 minus 1, which goes there. Minus 1, 1, which goes there. 0, 3, which goes there. Okay, 1, 5, which goes there. And 2, 7, which goes there. Okay, and it's going to be like a straight line. Obviously, okay. But you would use your ruler to obviously join that up, actually, okay, as best as you can. Obviously, it's a bit tricky for me because I'm doing it on like freehand. But it's meant to be like a straight line, guys, that goes through all those points. Okay, so it's a straight line in the form y equals mx plus c, where your gradient here is 2 and your y-intercept is positive 3, okay, where it crosses on the y-axis. Question number 3. Which of the following lines is parallel to the x-axis? Okay, circle your answer. So x-axis here, which is the line y equals 0. So this is not parallel, okay. This is not parallel, and this is not parallel. This one is, yes, because y equals 0 and y equals 7, okay, is a horizontal line going through, okay, there. Okay, so that's a line y equals 7. X equals 7 is a vertical line, so x equals 7 would look something like this, okay, roughly. Y equals 7x goes through the 0, okay, 0, 0, and it's like a line that looks like that, roughly, obviously a bit steeper, okay, and y equals 7x plus 2, well, that's very, very similar to this line here, okay, but it looks something, oops, like that, okay, obviously I've done it a bit too steep there, but it goes through. Okay, so something like that, okay, and this one should in theory actually be a bit more steeper, but obviously I've done like a rough sketch here, okay, but it is meant to be steeper, okay, so that's parallel. Okay, next question, write the equation of the line that is parallel to the y-axis. Well, the y-axis is the line x equals 0, so the line that is parallel is x equals 7. Okay, so vertical lines is x equals a, y lines are horizontal, okay, y equals b, okay, horizontal going across, and that's going to be that one. Okay, this is question number 4, guys. Okay, match the lines A, B, C, D to the correct equation. Well, equation A, that's the line y equals minus x. It's got a negative gradient, so it's going like that, a downward slope. B, goes through the point 2, but we will come back to that one in a second. C, okay, D is the line y equals x, so that's going to narrow that down straight away. Okay, B and C now. Now, B looks more steeper, so that's going to tell me that B is going to have a bigger gradient. So the gradient here is 3x, or 3, sorry, and the gradient here is just 1. So that means that that's how I know, okay? So the steeper the line is, the bigger the number in front of the x's, and we will come on to that in a second, okay? But like, yeah, so like the line y equals 6x is steeper than the line y equals 5x, okay? Essentially. Okay, next one. Which two of these lines are parallel? Well, it's going to be y equals x and y equals x plus 2. So parallel means it has the same gradient, so the same coefficient of x. Okay, so the number in front of the x. That's how I know it's parallel. Okay, I've got y equals 1x plus 2 and y equals 1x. So the number in front of the x here is just a 1. Obviously, it is not written as a 1 there, but yeah, it's just to obviously help you out there. And here it's minus 1x if you're interested. Okay, next question. Circle the point that does not lie on the line y equals x. So the x coordinate is same as the y coordinate. So this one here. Okay, because if y equals x and x equals 7, then y has to equal 7. Or if y is equal to 7.2, then x has to equal 7.2. Okay, so the line y equals x has the same x and y coordinate for each set of coordinates. Okay, this is question number 5. Which of the lines is the steepest? Circle your answer. So steepest has the biggest gradient. Okay, that's going to be this one. Okay, so it's the biggest number in front of the x. So it's got the largest coefficient of x. Okay, largest. That's a half. That's, oh no, sorry, it should be 4x. Sorry, I apologise. Should be this one, sorry. Okay, that one's minus 2. That one's 2 and that one's 4. So the biggest one is going to be 4, isn't it, out of all of them? Okay, next one. Write down the equation of a straight line that has gradient of 12. Okay, it can be y is equal to 12x minus 10, let's say. Okay, making this one up completely. Okay, as long as it has the 12 in front of the x, doesn't matter what the plus c is here, it can be minus a billion, minus 10 billion, plus a trillion. Okay, it doesn't really matter, provided that it's in the form y is equal to 12x. Okay, I don't even need a plus a number, that will also be sufficient as well. Okay, but I was putting a number here because I want you to obviously, yeah, understand actually that it's in the form y equals mx plus c. So this part just tells you where it crosses on the y-axis, okay, or axes. Next one. Find the midpoint of the line segment joining 3, 2, and 6, 10. So if I add these and then halve them, okay, coordinates, okay, that will be this one, and I'm going to have 2 plus 10 divided by 2. Oops. Okay, 3 plus 6 is 9, divided by 2 is 4.5. So I'm going to have 4.5 or 9 halves, or 4.5. 2 plus 10 is 12, divided by 2 is 6. So 4.5 and 6. Question number 7, guys. Which of these graphs are non-linear? So non-linear means that the power of x, okay, has to be greater than 1. Okay, so what I mean by that is it doesn't follow the convention y is equal to mx plus c. It has to be like an x squared, an x cubed, an x to the 4. It can't follow this convention because this one is a linear graph. Okay, so this one isn't. This one's non-linear. Okay, this one's non-linear. Okay, and the rest are linear, okay, because the rest I can just rearrange in the form y equals mx plus c. That one's already in y equals mx plus c. This one's same as saying y is equal to minus x plus 25, or y equals 25 minus x. This one would be y is equal to 5 minus 10x, or y is equal to minus 10x plus 5. It's still in a straight line equation form. So non-linear is where the power of the variable is 2 or more. X squared, x cubed, x to the 4, x to the 5, x to the 6, okay, etc, etc. Right, we are now looking at Year 6 perimeter and area and volume from the White Rose Maths worksheet. This is question number 1. A rectangle is drawn on a centimetre square grid. What is the area of the rectangle? Now, there are multiple different ways of working this out. What I'm going to do is just count the squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the answer is 10 centimeters squared. What is the perimeter of this rectangle? Perimeter means distance around the shape, so it's 5 by 2. Okay, so it's 5 add 2 add 5 add 2. Well, 5 add 5 is 10, 2 add 2 is 4, 10 add 4 is 14. Okay, and then the units for perimeter is just centimeters. Okay, this is question number 2. The perimeter of a rectangle is 18 centimeters. One of these sides is shown. Complete the rectangle. So I've got a 3 here, and then I'm also going to have a 3 here somewhere. Okay, now 3 plus 3 is 6. Okay, if I take off 18 from 6, I get 12, which means that I need to half it to work out the length of my rectangle. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So it's going to be 3 by 6. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm going to draw 3 lines going down. And then I'm going to do 6 going across. Okay, and I can check my answer. 6 plus 3 plus 6 plus 3 does give me 18, because 6 plus 3 is 9, 6 plus 3 is 9, 9 plus 9 is 18. Okay, this is question number 3, guys. Circle the shapes that have an area of 100 centimeters squared. So, for rectangles, it's length times width. Okay, watching the units carefully. 25 times 4 is 100. So this one does, yes, 100 centimeters squared. This one does 10 times 10, is 100. Okay. Now let's look here. This one doesn't, because 11 times 9 is 99. So it's not going to be this one. This one, you've got to be very careful. I've got meters and centimeters. So 1 meter is equivalent, i.e. the same as 100 centimeters. 100 centimeters times 1 centimeter does indeed give me 100 centimeters squared. So that is correct, although the dimensions are different. So be very careful and always check your dimensions when you're answering shape, okay, questions for area, perimeter, or volume. Question number 4. Work out the area of each triangle. Give units in your answer. So area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. Okay, so BH over 2. Base times height divided by 2. 6 times 6 is 36. Half of that is 18. So the answer is 18 centimeters squared for area. Okay, this one here, base times height divided by 2. 5 times 3 is 15. Divided by 2 is 7.5, or 15 halves, or 7.5. Okay, as a mixed number. Millimeters squared. Okay. This is question number 5, guys. Max says that the area of the parallelogram is 50 centimeters squared. What mistake has he made? He has multiplied by the slanted height instead of the perpendicular height. So he times by the slanted height, okay, instead of the perpendicular height. Okay, so it should be 10 times 4. Okay, it's the area of the base times the perpendicular height. Okay, this is what I call a slanted height. Okay, if you imagine that someone's like sliding down here, that's not the full height, is it? The full height is from here to here, isn't it? If that makes sense. Okay, imagine someone going down a slide. Yeah, it has to be like a vertical slide. Okay, yeah, ever. That makes sense to you, but this is what I call like a slanted slide. Okay, any form of slide that we see in the UK, actually, generally speaking, or across the world, okay, is what will have some sort of slant. Okay, a slide in a park. Okay, but this is what I call the perpendicular height. So it's perpendicular to the actual ground or floor. Okay, it's always 90 degrees to the ground or floor. What is the correct area? 10 times 4 is 40. So it should be 10 times 4. Okay, 10 fours are 40, or 4 times 10. This is question number 6, guys. Rectangles that have the same area have the same perimeter. Is Teddy correct? Explain the answer. Well, I believe on the previous slide, actually, we got a rectangle that was 2 by 5, I think it was. Okay, that had an area, so 5 by 2, sorry. That had an area of 14, sorry, area of 10, but a perimeter of 14. So the answer is no. So Teddy is not correct. It's not always true. It might sometimes be true, okay, for one of them actually, which was 3 by 6, okay. But for the first one that we looked at, okay, 5 by 2, 5 times 2 is 10, okay, but the perimeter is 5 and 2 add 5 and 2, which gives me the answer of 14. So 14 centimeters, okay, is not the same number, okay, or not equal to 10 centimeters squared, okay, because it's different units as well, you could say as well, okay. This is question number 7. The diagram shows the layout of a garden. Okay, so a garden. What is the length of the fence needed? Okay, so it's gonna be, okay, the length. So this of the fence. So the fence goes around the garden, doesn't it? So the length, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so the length is going to be 8 meters, isn't it? Because it's going around it. So the fence goes around it. So it's going to be 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8, or 8 fours, which are 32 meters. Okay, so a fence goes around a garden, okay, if that makes sense. Okay, it says around the garden. Okay, this is question number 8. Fill in the missing lengths. Okay, so that's 25. That's going to be 15, because 15 plus 25... No, sorry, I made a mistake actually again. Okay, that's going to be 5, sorry, because 5 plus 10 plus 25 actually gives me 40. That's going to be 12 there. All of this is 20. Okay, so this distance here will also be 20, right? Because it's the whole distance, I believe. Okay, that I'm looking at. Okay, what is the area of the shape? Show all your workings. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it into like a full rectangle, okay, to make it a bit easier. And I'm going to work out the area of the whole shape and then the area of this shape and take it away from one another, okay, if that makes sense. So, the area of this big rectangle is 20 times 40. 20 times 40 is 800 centimeters squared. Okay, remember the area is always units squared. Okay, and then the area of this shape, well, it's 10 by 8, isn't it? Because that's going to be 12, so this part's going to have to be 8 centimeters. Okay, so 10 times 8 is 80, so I'm going to do 800 centimeters squared, take away 80 centimeters squared, and that will give me the area of the shaded shape. Okay, now of course, there are other ways of working out the answer. Okay, I find this way the easiest myself actually. If you work out the area of the whole thing, and then take off this area here, then it will tell you what the shaded actually region is going to be. 800 take away 80 is 720. Okay, centimeters squared. Okay, so just to be clear, guys, and just to reiterate, the area of a rectangle is length times width, so it's 40 centimeters times 20 centimeters, which is where I got the 800 from. Okay, so 40 times 20. Okay, and then I did the area of the small rectangle, which was, well, that's going to be 12 there. All of this is 20. Therefore, this part has to be 8, because 8 plus 12 has to equal 20. Okay, so I did 10 times 8 for this one, for the area of this rectangle. So 10 times 8. Okay, and then I took it away from the bigger number, if that makes sense. So I took it away from the bigger area. 40 times 20 is 800, and 10 times 8 is 80. Okay, this is question number 9, guys. Work out the volume of the cuboid. So the volume of a cuboid, guys, is length times width times height. So it's 8 times 5 times 6. Okay, so let's just take our time with this sum. Okay, 8 times 5 is 40, and 40 times 6 is 240. Okay, and the units for volume is always units cubed. Okay, so centimeters cubed or millimeters cubed or meters cubed. Okay, and always check always check your unit conversion. Okay, to make sure that there was no like typo error or printing error. Okay, on there, because it might put millimeters cubed back. Okay, to like trip you up there. So always check your unit convention. Okay, so working in centimeters, so our answer would need to be in centimeters. Okay, right, guys, feel free to obviously circle actually how confident you are and how you feel with perimeter area and volume, and comment below which numbers that you are feeling actually for this section. Okay, we're now looking at April the 3rd, Corbett Maths 5 a day. Okay, from the A star to G. Okay, GCSE Maths. Okay, so it's the old spec that we're looking at, but it's still appropriate. Okay, for this current spec. Okay, looking at higher tier. Question number 1. Work out 25 to the power of 0. Anything to the power of 0 in maths is just 1. Okay, next one. 100 to the power of minus a half. Well, that minus flips it, so it's the reciprocal. 1 over 100 to the power of a half. Which is 1 over the square root. Okay, so power of a half means the square root, and we're looking at the positive root here. So the answer we get is 1 over 10, or 0.1. Okay, either way is fine. Okay, 0.1. Okay. Right, guys, this is question number 2. Which two of these lines are parallel? So parallel means it has the same gradient, so the same number in front of the x. That's going to be this one and this one. Okay, y equals x plus 1 and y equals 10 plus x. Because I can rewrite 10 plus x as x plus 10. Okay, remember what I said before, that we can write things in different conventions, 10 plus x is the same as writing x plus 10. It means the exact same thing. Examiners have put that deliberately to try and confuse you and think, well, I've got a number actually and then plus x. Okay, it's usually in the form y equals mx plus c, but they can still throw in other ways to try and confuse you. And that was the job of the examiner here. It was to try and confuse you on thinking, well, hang on a second, it should be y equals something x plus a number, or something x take away a number. Okay, next one, which two lines are perpendicular? So perpendicular means it has like the negative gradient, so it's the negative reciprocal. Okay, so it's going to be this one and this one, so y equals 2x plus 1. Okay, and a rule of thumb here is that if lines are perpendicular, then the products of the gradients have to multiply to give me -1. Okay, so it's always the negative reciprocal of your current gradient, if that makes sense. Okay, doesn't matter what the y value is, okay, or the plus c. Okay, 2 times -1/2 does indeed give you -1. Okay, because you're working out, okay, the perpendicular. So perpendicular means that the two gradients are the negative reciprocal of one another, if that makes sense. Okay, so reciprocal means the inverse, so it means 1/, and then stick like a negative sign in front of it. Okay, if it's currently a negative gradient, then it becomes a positive gradient here, and vice versa. Okay, write down the equation of the line that is parallel to y equals 2x plus 5 that passes through the point 1, 10. Okay, so that means, so parallel means it has the same gradient, so I know straight away that it's going to be y equals 2x plus c. Okay, if it passes through that point, then I can work out the value of c by subbing in those coordinates. 10 is equal to 2 plus c. Okay, that implies that c is going to equal to 8, yeah? Because 10 is equal to 2 times 1, which is 2, plus the c. Rearranging this, so subtract 2 on both sides of my equation to balance it. 8 is equal to c, so I can just rub that out here and just change that plus c to plus 8. So y equals 2x plus 8. Okay. This is the next question. Convert 3.333333 reoccurring into a mixed number. So we're looking at 3.3 reoccurring. Now this one's a bit of like a cheat code that I'm going to use. I've got 3 holes. Okay. Now 0.3 reoccurring. Okay. Those of you doing higher should know that that's equivalent to 1/3. Okay. So you can check that on your calculator. So my answer is just 3 1/3. Okay, but there is like an algebraic way of proving that actually, but I'm going to be a bit lazy today and just base it off the fact that we should know that 1/3 is equal to 0.3 reoccurring. Okay, so this is looking at reoccurring decimals here and numbers. Okay. Next question, okay, calculate the length of the hypotenuse. Leave your answer in third form. So, it's a right angle triangle, so it's Pythagoras. So it's root 6 all squared plus root 3 all squared has to equal x squared. So we're going to label that as x. So root 6 squared plus root 3 all squared. Sorry, root 5, sorry, all squared. Okay. Has to equal x squared. Okay. So if we square a third, I just get the number. So it's 6 plus 5 equals x squared. 6 plus 5 is equal to 11. So I get x squared is equal to 11. So x is equal to the square root of 11, because the opposite of squaring is square root. So x is equal to the positive square root of 11, okay, because we're looking at length here, aren't we? Okay. And the reason I've said that is because if you take the square root here, it's technically the plus and minus version, but we are looking at length here, so we have to disregard the minus version. But if you solve a quadratic, generally speaking, okay, so x squared, then it will always give you a plus and minus, okay, but because we are looking at length here, okay, it has to be the positive root, because I can't have like a negative length, okay, it doesn't make sense in real life, okay. We are now looking at year 10, simultaneous equations here for the foundation tier, okay, from the White Rose Maths, okay, so this is looking at, okay, GCSE foundation tier. Question number 1, 3x plus y equals 20, x and y are integers. Write down one possible pair of values for x and y. Okay, we can say that, for example, x is 4. Okay, when x is 4, 3 times 4 is 12, and 12 plus 8 is 20. Okay, this is question number 2. Here is a pair of equations. Okay, p plus r equals 8, 2p minus r is 4. Is p equals 5 and r equals 3 a solution to both of these equations? Give a reason for your answer. Well, the first one, yes it is. The second one, 2 times 5 is 10, subtract 3 is 7, so it's not true for the second one. Okay, because the second one, it gives me the answer of 7 and not 8, okay. It's going to give me the same answer. Sorry, it gives me the answer of 7, not 4, sorry. So it should be not 4. Okay, this is question number 3. Solve this pair of simultaneous equations. You may use the bar model to help you. Okay. 2d plus c equals 14, 2d plus 3c is 24. Let's label this here as 1 and 2, and we'll use the bar model to actually help us. If I do equation 2, subtract equation 1, okay, what am I going to get? Well, 2d minus d is just going to cancel, okay. 3c subtract 1c is 2c, and 24 take away 14 is 10. So 2c is equal to 10, okay. So imagine I'm talking about actually all of this, okay. The remainder of these 2c's. 2c's has to equal 10 because 14 plus 10 is 24, which is the whole bar. Therefore, c is going to equal to 5. Okay. If c equals 5, okay, then I'm going to sub that in actually into the first equation. I'm going to have 2d plus 5 is equal to 14. Okay. So I'm forming a linear equation. Yeah, subbing into an equation. Okay. Taking it off 5 on both sides and dividing by 2, I get that d is equal to 4.5 or 4.5. Okay. Because 4.5 plus 4.5 plus 5 does indeed give me 14. Okay, so take off 5 from both sides and then divide by 2. Okay. This is question number 4, guys. The graph of y equals 3x, 3 minus 2x has been drawn on the grid. Part A. Complete the table of values for the line y equals 3x minus 2. So it's not the same one here, guys. Be very careful here. When x is 1, 3 times 1 is 3. Subtract 2 is 1. When x is 2, 3 times 2 is 6. Take away 2 is 4. When x is negative 1, 3 lots of negative 1 is negative 3. Take away that 2 is negative 5. Part B. On the grid, draw the graph of y equals 3x minus 2. So minus 1, 5, 0, minus 2. Oh, sorry. Minus 1, minus 5, sorry. 1, 1, okay, 2, 4, and 3, 7, Again, with your ruler, guys, being very, very, very careful. Okay. Making sure that you use a pencil and a ruler for these questions. Okay. Okay. Part C. Use the graph to solve the simultaneous equations y equals 3x minus 2 and y equals 3 minus 2x. Well, it's the intersection, isn't it? It's where they intersect. X equals 1 and y equals 1. Okay, and they're the solutions to the simultaneous equations. Okay. This is question number 5. Use substitution to solve these simultaneous equations. Okay, 2m plus n equals 31, m equals n plus 14. So if I sub this one into the first equation, I'm going to have 2 lots of n plus 14. So 2n plus 28, so 2 lots of this. Okay, plus n is equal to 31. Okay, collecting my like terms on the left-hand side, 2n plus n is 3n. 3n plus 28 is equal to 31. Subtract 31 on both sides and then divide by 3. We get that n is equal to 1. Okay, n is equal to 1. Therefore, m is equal to 1 plus 14, which is equal to 15. Okay. Question number 6, guys. 2y minus 5z equals 24. Write down the value of 6y minus 15z. Well, this part has been times by 3. Okay, everything's been times by 3 there. So I'm going to times the right-hand side by 3. And that will give me my final answer. 24 times 3, we get 72. Okay. This is question number 7, guys. Solve these simultaneous equations. 3w plus 4t is equal to 32 and 2w minus 2t is equal to 5. Well, if I label it as equation 1 and equation 2, okay, and if I times equation 2 by 2, so we get that minus 4t there. So equation 2 multiplied by 2, okay, so keep the signs consistent. The first one remains unchanged. The second one is just doubled. Okay, and I'll explain why I've done that in a second, and it will become clear in a moment why I've done that. 2w times 2 is 4w, minus 2t times 2 is minus 4t, and then 5 times 2 is 10. Okay. I can now add these equations because 4t plus minus 4t, they just end up cancelling. 3w plus 4w is 7w. 32 plus 10 is equal to 42. Okay, if I add these equations, therefore w is equal to 6, dividing both sides by 7. Okay, w is equal to 6, and then I can sub that in to work out what t is. Okay, let's sub it into the first equation here because it's a bit more easier. 3 lots of 6 is 18, plus 4t is equal to 16. Subtract 18 on both sides, I get 4t is equal to 16. Dividing both sides by 4, I get that t is equal to positive 4. Okay, so subtract 18 on both sides and then divide by 4. Okay, I get 4t is equal to 16. Okay, not 16, guys, sorry. 4t is equal to 14, sorry. Okay, 32 take away 18 actually is equal to 14, sorry. Okay, just change my answer here. Okay, 32 take away 18 is 14, divide both sides by 4, then we get a fraction answer. We get 14 over 4, or 14 quarters, which is equal to 7 over 2, or 3.5, or 3.5. Okay, so always check there, guys. Okay. Question number 8, guys. The cost of 3 pens, okay, and 1 rubber, so 3p plus 1r or plus r is 225 pence. Okay, the cost of 2 pens, okay, and 2 rubbers is £1.90. Okay, 2r is equal to £1.90 or 190. Okay, Mo wants to find out how much 1 pen costs and how much 1 rubber costs. He starts by forming the equation 3p plus r, which is the first statement, equals 225, yes. Continue his working to find the cost. Well, I've done it here for the second equation. 2p plus 2r equals 190. Now here, I'm going to do something a bit more easier. I'm going to divide the second equation by 2. So I'm going to divide actually everything by 2. So I'm going to get p plus r equals 190 divided by 2, which is equal to 95 pence. Okay, because it means the same thing here. Saying that 2 pens and 2 rubbers is £1.90 is the same as saying 1 pen and 1 rubber is 95p. I can now solve the equation. So if I do this one, take away this one, r take away r just goes to 0, 3p take away p is 2p, and then 225 minus 95, okay, I'll start off there. Sorry, cross that one off. Should be a 12 there, sorry, not an 11. Okay, 12 take away 9 is 3, and then 1 take away nothing is 1. So 2p is 130, so the price of a pen is 65 pence, okay, or 0.65. Okay, let's just stick with pence here, just obviously be on the safe side. Okay, pence is that. So if I sub it into here, to work out what r is, 65 plus something equals 95, or 65 plus 30 equals 95. Yes, subtract 95, sorry, 65 actually on both sides. We get that the cost of a rubber is 30 pence and the cost of a pen is 65 pence. Okay, this is question number 9. Solve the simultaneous equations. Okay, so label that one as 1 and label that one as 2. Okay, so here there's no obvious quick way of doing it. I'm going to times the first one by 3 and the second one by 4, so I get the 12 b's. I'm going to have 6a plus 12b. 18 times 3 is 54. 5a times 4 is going to be 20a. 3b times 4 is plus 12b. And then 17 times 4. Okay, 17, double 17 is 34, double 34 is 68. Okay, be here. Okay, I'm now going to do this one, take away this one. So 20a minus 6a is 14a. 12b subtract 12b, just cancel it out. So that's going to go to 0. 68 take away 54 is going to be 14. So 14a is equal to 14. Dividing both sides by 14, a is equal to 1. If a is equal to 1, then 2 times 1 is 2. 2 plus 4b is equal to 18. Take away 2 from both sides, so 4b is equal to 16. Divide both sides by 4. We get that b is equal to 4. Okay, for that question. Right, guys, we are now looking at the last section today. Okay, so sorry that it's been quite a long video, but hopefully you are sticking with me so far. This is the Year 10 simultaneous equations for the higher tier students from the White Rose Maths worksheet. Okay, this is question number 1. Okay, 3x plus y equals 20. X and y are integers, so whole numbers. Write down one possible pair of values. Well, if x is 1, y is 17. Okay, for example. Okay, this is question number 2. P is equal to 2r squared. 2p plus r is equal to 33. Verify that p equals 18 and r equals 3 is a solution to both of these equations. So it's saying that the left hand side has to equal the right hand side actually here. Okay, so 18 equals 2 times minus 3 squared. Well, minus 3 squared is 9, times it by 2 is 18. So that's true for the first equation, yes. 18 does equal 18. Okay, so just to be clear, so what I said here was, I said 18, does it equal 2 lots of minus 3 squared? And it does, okay, because minus 3 squared is positive 9. Positive 9 times 2, or double of 9, is 18. So that is true for the first one. The second one, 2 times 18 is 36, plus minus 3. So I've got 36 plus minus 3. Well, the plus and minus goes to a minus, so it's 36 take away 3, which is indeed 33. Okay, so that is true for the right hand side. Okay, so when p is 18, so 2 lots of 18 is 36. Okay, and then I'm going to subtract the 3 because I'm adding on negative 3. Okay, a plus and a minus goes to a minus. Okay, that does give me the answer of 33. Okay, so that is true. Okay, this is question number 3, guys. 2y minus 5z equals 24. Write down the value of 6y minus 15z. Well, that one's been tripled. I'm going to triple this, times this by 3. 24 times 3 is 72. Okay. This is question number 4, guys. Solve the simultaneous equations. Okay, 3w plus 4t is equal to 32. 2w minus 2t is equal to 5. Well, if I times equation 2 by 2, so then I'm going to get 3w plus 4t is equal to 32. Okay, if I double the second equation, I'm going to get 4w subtract 4t. That has to equal 10. Okay, I'm now going to add these equations together. Okay, 3w plus 4w is 7w. Okay, that's going to cancel. 40 plus minus 40 is 40 minus 40, which is going to be 0. 32 add 10. Okay, so we're adding, yeah, these equations together is 42. Okay, 7w equals 42, therefore w is equal to 6. Okay, dividing both sides by 7. Okay, want to know what w is? I can then sub it in to work out what t is. So 2 times 6 is 12. 12 minus 2t is equal to 5. Well, let's just add 2t here and bring the 5 over. Okay. And then bring that 2t over. So then I get 7 is equal to 2t. And then half of 7 is 3.5. Okay, or 7 halves. Okay. So hopefully it makes sense. This is question number 5, guys. Solve the simultaneous equations. 2a plus 4b equals 18. 5a plus 3b equals 17. Okay, so if I times equation 1 by, we'll say 5, and equation 2 by 2, so we get the 10a's. Okay, so 2a times 5 is 10a, plus the 20b, Okay, 18 times 5, guys, we should know that's equal to 90. Okay, because timesing by 5 is the same as times it by 10 and divided by 2. Times by 10 is 180, and then half of 180 is 90. Okay, a little cheat code there. 5a times 2 is 10a. Okay, sorry, it should be 20b there, not that. Okay, plus 6b. Double of 17 is 34. I'm now going to subtract these equations. That's going to cancel. 20b minus 6b is 14b. 90 take away 34. Well, 90 take away 30 is equal to 60. Take away 4 is going to give me 56. Dividing by 14, I get that b is equal to 4. If b equals 4, then I'm going to have 2a plus 16 equals 18. So 2a plus 16 is equal to 18. Subtract the 16 on both sides, divided by 2, gives me the answer of a is equal to 1. Okay, because 2a equals 2, and then dividing it by 2, I get that a is equal to 1. Okay. Right, guys, we're now looking at question number 6. Okay, so draw the graph, okay, sorry, of y equals 2x plus 1 on this grid. So go from minus, so let's go from minus 1 to 2, okay. So the graph of y equals x squared minus 3x plus 1 has been drawn. Part A, draw the graph of y equals 2x plus 1 on the grid. So it's a straight line graph here. 2 times 0 is 0, add the 1 is 1. 2 times 1 is 2, add the 1 is 3. So it's going up in 2s, yeah? That's going to give me negative 1 there, okay? And I can double check my answer for that one. Okay. And now I've got to obviously draw it. Okay, so minus 1, 0, 1. Okay, 1, 3, 2, 5. And if you're interested, we will go a bit further. When x is 3, 2 times 3 is 6. Add the 1, it's going to be 7. When x is 4, 2 times 4 is 8. Add the 1, it's equal to 9. Okay, when x is 5, y is equal to 11. Okay, and with your ruler, obviously I'm doing it freehand here. Oops, okay, but I can see here that the line intersects, okay, or where they meet is at these coordinates. So it's 0, 1, and 5, 11. Okay, and I can check my answer by subbing these coordinates into these equations. Okay, and I will get the same answer. When x is 0, 0 squared is 0, minus 3 lots of 0, which is 0, plus 1 is indeed 1. And then here is going to equal to 1 as well. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. Here I'm going to have 5 squared is 25, minus 15, which is 10. So plus that 1 is 11, that's 3s. 2 times 5 is 10, add that 1 is 11. Okay. This is question number 7, guys. The cost of 3 pens, okay, and 1 rubber is equal to £2.25. Okay, we'll leave it in bog standard penny form, okay, to make it a bit easier to deal with. And then the cost of 2 pens and 2 rubbers is £1.90. Now, I'm going to write that instead as 1 pen and 1 rubber is equal to half of 190, which is 95p. Okay, that means the same thing. Okay, so 2p plus 2r equals 190 is the same as saying p plus r equals 95. Okay, either way it means the same thing, and you can double check that actually for yourself. 2p plus 2r does equal 190 from the second equation. Therefore, that's the same as saying p plus r equals 95. Okay, this one, take away this one. I'm going to have 2p. That's going to go equals 5 take away 5 is 0. 2 take away 9 I can't do, so I'm going to have to exchange. 1, I'm borrowing there. 12 take away 9 is 3. And then 1 take away nothing is 1. Okay, imagine I've got nothing now. P is going to equal to 65 pence or 0.65 of a pound, either way you want to write it. So 65 pence. Okay. And the cost of a rubber, well, looking at the second equation, 65 plus R equals 95. So 65 plus 30 equals 95. So again, examiners will accept 0.3 of a pound and 0.65 of a pound as well. So they will also accept this as well, okay? But we when it comes to pounds and pence, yeah, if you have no pounds, then I think it makes a bit more sense to write it in penny form, because yeah, like a lot of people, yeah, don't usually deal with like this sort of convention, okay, unless it involves a pound essentially. Okay, question number 8, guys. Solve the simultaneous equations. X squared plus y squared equals 13, y equals x plus 1. So I'm going to sub this into the first equation. Okay, remember that it's squared though. I'm going to have x squared plus x plus 1 all squared. Okay. That's equal to 13. Now expanding this bracket, remember that I'm squaring x plus 1 actually all squared. Okay, I'm going to get x squared plus 2x plus that 1. Okay, if I'm squaring this whole bracket. Okay, because it's x plus 1 times x plus 1. And you can check actually by expanding the double brackets yourself and simplifying it. Okay, collecting like terms, making it equal to 0 because it's a quadratic. 2x squared plus 2x minus 12 is equal to 0. I'm going to divide through by 2. Okay, so then I get x squared plus x minus 6. So let's just delete it to make it a bit easier. Dividing through by 2. Okay, I'm now going to factorize this into x plus 3 and x minus 2. Okay, so factorizing quadratics. Two numbers that add to give me positive 1, okay, and multiply to give me negative 6. So look at the factors of 6, okay. It's a positive and a negative because a positive times a negative is a negative, and 3 take away 2 is positive 1. Okay, solving this equation, I get x is negative 3 and x is equal to 2. Okay, subbing this in separately, y is equal to x plus 1. Adding on 1, I get negative 2. And then adding on 1, I get 3. Okay, 2 plus 1 is 3 for that one. And minus 3 plus 1 is minus 2. Okay, so my solutions here, okay, are x is equal to negative 3. Okay, and x equals negative 2. Sorry, x equals positive 2. If I solve these respectively, okay, either x plus 3 equals 0 or x minus 2 equals 0, x equals negative 3 and x equals 2, and then subbed it in to work out the corresponding y values, okay, and that was it, okay. Now this is solving quadratic simultaneous equations, which is looking at grade 9 here, okay, so this will explicitly be for the higher tier, okay, this question in particular. Okay, I've seen these appear on every single Edexcel paper. I've seen these appear on a OCR paper, and I have seen these appear on a AQA paper as well. Okay, so make sure that you are happy with how to solve quadratic simultaneous equations, because it involves factorizing quadratics, solving quadratics, substitution, okay, expanding. Okay, remember that squared there means I'm doing x plus 1 times x plus 1. Okay, so it's quite heavily involved with the algebra here. Okay, make sure that you're happy with how to expand, how to simplify, how to collect like terms, how to substitute, how to factorize. Okay, with all that. Okay. Right guys, so that is the end of today's video. So thank you so much for making it to the end. Okay, sorry that it was such like a long video, but I hope you found it useful. I hope you found it informative. If you did, please press like, please subscribe to the channel if you're new, and lastly, please click that bell icon so you don't miss out on further videos and further uploads. Okay, but that's it for me today guys. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, stay safe, stay healthy, enjoy your Easter break, enjoy your Easter holidays, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now.